Well, we just talked about a range of different increases, right? From Disneyland tickets to Walt Disney World tickets, annual passes, all of that. But hey, maybe you're a guy who just goes there and says, you know what? It's okay. I'm willing to pay the upfront price because my day at these parks, well, I'll just go ahead and ride the rides. Won't indulge in any of these extra cost items. Well, they thought of that. Disney raises Lightning Lane prices to new record highs at Walt Disney World. This by WDW Magic here, October 8th, 2025. Disney has raised prices for Lightning Lane Multi-Pass and Lightning Lane Single Pass options at Walt Disney World, setting a new record high across all four parks. The latest update brings increases of $6 per park for multi-passes and $1 to $3 per ride for select single pass attractions. With the changes taking effect October 29th, 2025, Lightning Lane Premier Pass remains unchanged, but only at Walt Disney World. We'll get into that in just a moment. You can kind of see right here, the previous max was $39 for a multi-pass Lightning Lane option at Magic Kingdom. Now it's $45. Remember, it was $30 at lunch. So that's a heck of an increase right there. $37 now for Epcot. Previous max was $32, and at launch it was $21. You can kind of see the rest of those prices right there. Pretty significant increases. Avatar Flight of Passage now $19. Previous max was $18. Cosmic Rewind $22. Previous max was $19. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train $15. Previous was $14. Tron Light Cycle Run with that hit new Ares overlay, $23, and Star Wars Rise of Resistance, $25. It's becoming far they just nickel and dime you so much. Again, 6 years ago, FastPass was included, and now you have to pay for this extra service. That brings with it a ton of problems, as we've noted here on That Park Place. But hey, wait! There is more, as brought out by Disney Tourist Blog. Remember, I was talking about that Premier Pass, or that Premium Lightning Lane experience. This by Tom Bricker, October 1st. Well, at Disneyland, that Lightning Lane Premier Pass, it started out at $3.99. Now it's hitting $4.49. And I've seen some reports that indicate that might be going up to $4.99. I wasn't able to verify that, or at least provide a visual of that, but I wouldn't be surprised, as Tom Bricker actually notes in this article right now. So, guys, it's one thing to charge extra for admission. It's another thing to charge extra for what you actually do inside. And it looks like Disney's figured out the game right here. Your thoughts on this particular story?
I told you, I told everybody once they did, they changed Legacy FastPass, once they were working through the FastPass, that we'd end up with pay-to-play FastPass, which is exactly what Lightning Lane is. And again, I don't like to say I told you so, but it seems to be the only words in my vocabulary when it comes to Disney, especially. This is a disaster. It's going to be a disaster. I just was, perusing Twitter Diz, whatever you want to call it, and I came across a post that says, to do a 2-day park hopper for two adults, you're sitting in at almost $1,000 in costs, not counting anything like Lightning Lane or any of that.
Yikes.
And you are definitely over $1,000 if you're a drive-in customer, because they're going to charge you $30 a day for parking. None of this is hotels. This is just going to the parks. So, if you're spending $18 to go on Cosmic Rewind or whatever it is, and you're spending like $11 to go on Tron or whatever it is, that's the extra Lightning Pass bologna sausage. So, I mean, is it for the average Americans, the average American family? Is Disney World a place where a family can go for a family vacation anymore? The answer clearly is no. Nothing at these parks has been either plussed up or created recently that would draw you to go there. So are people just going because they feel that rite of passage, or is it another reason? Or why is Ron getting kidnapped all the time? I don't understand.
I don't know. I didn't do it this time, folks. I swear. I did not do it.
But, like you said, I just don't see the value in it, and I haven't for a long time, because again, they took a chronic attendee and made him no longer interested in any of their products, not just their theme parks. I'm not even interested in the cruise ships. The Icon of the Seas, despite its fault that one time, is an amazing ship. It is a floating hotel, a mall, and an entertainment park itself. And it's what's great is you wake up and outside your window every day is a new place. You get more value out of a cruise vacation with somebody else than you do with Disney, because really you're buying marketing at this point, and that's it. Anyway, those are my thoughts.
I think so. I want to go ahead and put this forward as well. There's a couple of things that need to address for sure. Theme Park IQ, small update to the Lightning Lane pricing. Disneyland says, quote, a Lightning Lane multipass starts at $34 per guest per day. Previously it's at $32. However, Lightning Lane has been seen at $36 almost every single day for the past year. Here's a chart showing the daily price, and I believe this might have moved up to $40. So wow. Disneyland, not alleviated from these price increases. Culture, I want to go ahead and bring this up to you. This was Fox News' post about this, and Mousetrap. I think that's very appropriate because it's kind of what Lightning Lane is, right? You're buying into a theme park. Now you're actually stuck there, and it's like, okay, I want to get the most value from it. Yeah. Exactly.
I knew this was going to happen. And the thing is this is exactly, the worst fear realized by everybody who saw it coming. And right. Honestly, you are paying a park entry price that should give you access to the whole park with no restriction. On top of that, you are now paying an individual ticket price to guarantee that you can go on certain attractions. So you're paying for e-tickets at this point. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. Now, Disneyland, I guess, is citing here. They're citing due to higher labor costs and park expansions. This is why we're actually paying so much. And then obviously Lightning Lane on top of that. But Eddie Sato, previous Imagineer for the Walt Disney
amazing
Company,
guy, by the way, amazing.
Absolutely, one of my all-time favorites for sure. Where is Disney PR? Why don't they compare the even higher prices of parking, such tickets for a 3-hour game at the the NBA, NFL, Broadway, or concerts? I'm not defending the price hikes, but how they are handled with, quote, no full day value message hurts the brand. Show me why it's still worth it, not what the money is needed for. The home team never loses at Disneyland. The parks are full day, quote, bundled experiences with fireworks parades, $100 million of rides, live shows, etc. Operation Spoonful of Sugar. Ron, what do you think about that? I mean, on the one hand, it's like, I understand. This has got to make its money. It's got to pull in its cheddar, I guess, if we're talking about mice. But citing increased labor costs, that honestly, that's kind of their fault, right? Because there's that $233 million settlement that they just had to pay out, especially for Disneyland and so forth. But now we're paying for that in multiple ways. That includes Lightning Lane. Your thoughts, please, Ron.
My thoughts are that they haven't produced anything that's been a moneymaker at the box office in years. and you got to make up for that in other places, regardless of the fact that they say that the parks experience division may be different than the entertainment division. All the money, it flows, right? It's got to go somewhere. And Bob Iger it's never felt since he's been in charge of the company like he really cared much about the parks, or just that he's trying to please those within his circle that he thinks will get him ahead or get him to his personal goals. It really has felt like the overall guest experience at the Disney parks. It's just not the same as what it used to be. And I hate saying that. Because, and maybe culture feels the same. In the 90s, the 2000s, I mean, loved Disney. I would have never, in my wildest imagination, I would have never felt like I would feel the way I feel about Disney now. Because you could have called me a pixie duster 10 years ago. Loved the rides. This attraction, SOAR, is one of my favorite attractions. I think Disney has some great things that they have had going for them in the past. And I think they're kicking themselves in the foot in a lot of ways right now. Now, I understand pricing compared to other experiences out there. I don't, it's really weird. I don't know if it's my age. I don't do a lot of those other experiences. The last time I went to an arena to see something was actually probably a Disney product. It was the Marvel Universe Live show. Pretty good experience. It was fun at the time. I think it was 2013 or 2014 when I went. But I don't, even those types of things, baseball games, football games, I mean, everything really, prices have absolutely soared. But like if I go to a baseball game, let's say that I pay the price for that, I don't think that I have to pay an extra price. Like I get inside and then they're like, well, we're not going to be able to show you the Jumbotron unless you pay an additional fee, or like this, you pay the fee, you're going to buy hot dogs and beers, but it's not like there's other additional fees to do more things inside the stadium. And these lightning lanes are not only are these crazy, but there's one thing that I pointed out. I don't know if you have that Park Place article that I did on the lightning lane, but I pointed out the fact that Disney does this in a very different way than, say, Universal does with their skip the line pass. And that is that somebody who might be paying $45 per person for a multi-pass in the lightning lane system is going to share the exact same queue that somebody who spent $450 for that same privilege did when they bought the Premier Pass. And there's no additional special like skip the line queue for those people. So somebody who paid $450 and somebody who paid $45 is going to end up in the same place with the same privilege, still possibly on the days when the Lightning Pass is actually necessary, possibly waiting 20 to 30 minutes for that ride in a Lightning Lane queue that's filled up with Lightning Lane guests, right? So now, yeah, the main line might be 2 hours long, but you're still waiting half an hour to get into that ride that you wanted, at least at Walt Disney World. I don't know how Disneyland works, but with Walt Disney World, I would say that the vast majority of time these days, nobody even needs a lightning lane, because when you look at the queues, they're only going like 25 minutes at the most.
Yeah, I think that's some really good detail, really good analysis from you, Ron. I went ahead and put the link to your article in the chat. It will be in the description as well. I think it's really fascinating how they monetize this in this way and how aggressive they have been previously. FastPass, these merge points where the FastPass queue actually meets the standby queue, and then we actually get you on board the attraction. The ratios didn't have to be as aggressive, but now they do, because now you're charging for that product. And so we've seen the standbys just come to an absolute crawl, even post FastPass levels. And on the flip side, we've seen a lot of dissatisfied guests with the Lightning Lane product because, well, they didn't overcome some of the issues that they had. In some cases, they're actually worse. Like, for example, uptime for attractions and so forth, breakdowns, all of that impacting your day. And especially when you're paying for it, nobody's happy when things don't go right. We'll keep everybody up to date on all of these kind of price increases going forward here in that Park Place. Go ahead, Ron.
I've never paid for a Lightning Lane myself, but I imagine that those guests who did pay for it are really mad when I walk by them in the standby queue, which has happened on a number of occasions.
That's the other thing too, Ron. When you have a lack of people at like Walt Disney World, for example, and you're walking past them in the standby and people have actually paid good money to skip the line, oh, that's not good. Not good at all.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.